Hey everybody, Russell Hill, WTF, and that's what the fixed ops to all of you, but that's not what this is. This is then and now. It's a new series we created. I'm joined today by...
I'm Charity. I'm the co-host here, and today we're really excited. We have back Glenn Lundy, president of 800% Elite Automotive Club. And Glenn, we had you on 2023, and you told us an amazing story about your foundation and where you came from and your career success. And so we're touching base with you again 2 years later to see where you are now. So welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Yeah. Well, give us an update. Have things changed in your life since we last had you on? What does it look like now?
Yeah, everything's falling apart. The rafters have fallen down. The buildings have exploded. Everything has changed.
Yeah.
Everything has changed, and I am super grateful to be alive in a time where things are changing so rapidly. So 2023, that was really when ChatGPT and AI and that kind of stuff just started. And obviously not just started, AI has been being worked on for 70 years, but it's when it kind of really hit to where we all kind of had access to some of those tools. So that's changed a lot of things for us. My wife is due to have my 9th child.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Yeah. So I'm keeping an eye on my phone over here. She could go anytime now. And so, that's changed. Also, as far as our business, it's changed dramatically as well since I was last on with you guys. Originally, I was only working in 800% Elite Automotive Club. We were only working with owners and GMs.
Right.
And we started to expand into F&I. And then what's happened since then is a bunch of the team members that I used to work with when I was on the retail side, they've all come and joined my company now. And so we created something called the Whole Dealership Solution. So now we work with owners, GMs, sales managers, GSMs, finance managers, and the salespeople, and BDC, and everybody has their own role-specific training, but it's all pushing to the same overall message of 800%. So we've been able to evolve that, which has been awesome. And between AI and really fine-tuning our products and having more babies, it's been an awesome couple years.
I'm sure there's a lot more, and I want to, for everybody listening out there that's going to see this, man, in the last 5 years, things have changed so much. And I know I hear all the time people resisting change, and it's the only constant. The growth is optional, of course. You can continue doing the same thing and getting the same results, but that's not what Glenn's about. That's not what we're about. And I remember early on, here we are doing this online. I mean, just in the last 5 years, but it was about 4.5 years ago where I met you on Clubhouse. I mean, it is, you live and breathe the stuff and we have so many things in common about the drugs, trials, tribulations, wanting to end it, all that kind of stuff, phenomenal stuff. And the story you have, it's impacted my life and millions of other lives out there. And I still see you pop in from time to time. I show up sometimes just to listen because there's some people that can really, carry on a conversation in there.
No doubt.
But you've had a real impact in my life. So much so, I want to say this, that talking about your story opened up for me to talk more openly about my journey, not just in automotive, but the drugs and alcohol and jails and all that kind of stuff that Charity got to hear a little bit of my story. And a writer, I am not. A storyteller, I can be. And so I have this story. I told Charity, she said, you need to write a book. I said, I can't tell you how many people that said I need to write a book. So she is my ghostwriter, and we're almost done 2.5 years of putting this memoir together. And and your book inspired. That's about 2 years now, right? Your book came out about 2 years ago?
So my book came out February of last year. Yeah.
Okay. All right. A little over a year then.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I got a signed copy handed to me right from you during the Golden Wrench Award. So thank you very much.
Thank you
Anyway,
so much. I have
I
that
just want-
award up in my office. I see it every morning.
I just wanted to recap that. I wanted you to know what kind of impact that you've had on my life and all the people I engage with on a daily basis and the trajectory of our business and how it's exploded. It's amazing. I think we're at 620 rooftops now and just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Now we're going through this because of AI and data. Every these large automotive groups are all getting on board. So how is all this AI stuff and you expanding your horizons and all these verticals under automotive? There was a lot of change in the last year or so, hasn't there been?
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, tell us about that.
It's congrats on your success. First of all, I don't want to just slide by that. That's awesome that you guys are growing like that and expanding like that and continuing to serve others and find ways to deliver wisdom and experience so that you can make an impact in other people's lives as well, man. I think it's just awesome, right? You don't have that. Writing a book is a big undertaking. The work that goes into it's a big undertaking. Getting it to market's a big undertaking. You don't make any freaking money writing a book. Just so you people know, you don't make any money writing a book.
All right, scrap it, Charity. We're not doing it. No, go ahead. That's not what the intent is. I get it.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
You don't, and so you don't have to do that. And so I appreciate that and people like you that are willing to do the extra things to pass on experiences and wisdom so that other people be lifted up, encouraged, inspired, and so on and so forth. So just real quick, I don't want to slide over that. But as far as the last year, we have had to have a very intentional mindset shift because I truly believe without a shadow of a doubt that right now we have the most incredible training and consulting company the automotive industry's ever seen. I also believe that in 5 years, it could be completely irrelevant. Like literally everything we've built could potentially be completely irrelevant in 5 years. And I take that threat very seriously to what we're doing. So we are asking the question every single day, the team and I, where is the puck going? And how do we need to change, evolve, and innovate to make sure that we are relevant 5 years from now?
Indeed.
And that's been a big shift, I think, for us as a company. I think a lot of my dealerships, a lot of our clients are asking that same, question, because the same threat that we have to my company is the same threat that exists to every third generation mom and pop 75 car dealership that exists in this. How do you stay relevant 5 years from now with small budgets, small resources? And what has worked in this industry for the last 70 years is not going to work in the next 5. That's just facts. And so it's really been a journey of exploration of what is possible that has really shaken things up for us around here in so many ways. And so we've built a lot of cool tools and they evolve and so on and so forth. I was messing around earlier and I got a picture of, I don't know, I got a picture of the Rock rocking my 800%.
Right on. Look at that.
Is that real or is it AI?
That's AI.
Yeah.
Total AI. Right. But so, there's some fun stuff that we're doing with it. And as far as the tools and so on and so forth. But I think what's more important, especially for the listener, is I want you to understand that it's not what AI tool is going to save me or what AI tool do we need to implement. It's what mindset do we have to have in today's day and age to where we are constantly evolving, because the tools change, right? AI came out and the next day there's 250,000 different versions, right? Like the tools are going to change, but those that are going to win moving forward are the ones that can say, hey, we're not going to be slow on change. We're not going to slowly evolve. We're going to keep our heads in the game, do as much research as we possibly can, stay ahead of the curve, and just keep freaking running. That's what we're doing.
I when you say it like that, you may not remember this, but you had an AI class. You invited everybody to it, no charge,
Yeah.
and I flew out for that one.
Yes, sir.
And I have stayed involved ever since. Even I'm fixing to turn 66, and it's like I hear a lot of people, and it's applicable to the whole world, but a lot of people in automotive talking about, keep doing the same thing, leadership, things that are changing, et cetera. Okay, I started selling cars in 1985. The average person sold 10. Okay, in 2025 it's 9.7. Right? You have all these wonderful tools. Yep. So what is it? So we know the greatest predictor of future behavior is based upon previous behavior. I happen to believe that when I met my mentor after my spiritual awakening, that I met somebody like you, not quite to the level that you are. And I wanted to find out if this multimillionaire guy was his insides the same as his outsides, and did they match? So he became a mentor in my life, but he was very specific about mentoring me because he had no time. Okay. Right. I invited him to lunch, and I paid for lunch because I wanted to ask him how he got where he got and listen to his story. And I was ready. When the teacher's ready, a student will appear or whatever.
That's right.
So he said,
when the student's ready, the teacher will appear.
Yeah, exactly. And he said, I'm going to work with you, Russell, because I see something here. But here's the thing. I'm going to get you so far outside of your comfort zone. Okay. You're going to understand that life is at the edge of your comfort zone, not your comfort zone. And all my suggestions have nothing to do with what's in it for me, because you don't have anything I want. You want what I have. And as a result, I'm going to ask you to do these things. And if you don't do them, you call me if you need an explanation. I understand all that until we meet again next month. But in the meantime, if you don't follow through on my suggestions, my time is valuable, and I don't have time. I don't have time for people that aren't serious. But he said, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start off, and I'm going to give you a book. And I want you to read 15 minutes a day. I said, oh, I can do that, Roger. He said, no. 15. I didn't understand what was really going on. He said, listen, 15 minutes a day. I don't care if don't finish the paragraph. I don't care if at the end of the page, chapter, doesn't make any difference. 15 minutes a day. And if you'll do this and the things that are forthcoming, I can promise you your life will transform within a year in ways that you can't even fathom. So he gave me a book, Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People, which you've spoken about, particularly as you used to mention everybody's name in Clubhouse in the morning. Right. It's very, very powerful. And I realized at that point in time that, okay, a lot of wonderful doors have opened up for me where I met somebody like you, only because I ventured into the unknown instead of, because there's a lot of fear either of the known or of the unknown. And you're a gleaming example of somebody who does that and keeps moving. But if you want a different tomorrow, I've narrowed it down to only 3 things: who you associate with, what you read, and what you listen to. If you don't input something new today, I know where you're going to be 30 days from now. Do you believe that?
Oh, yeah. It's absolute facts, right? Absolute facts. Denzel Washington once said, hang around the barbershop long enough, you're bound to get a cut. Right? Yeah. It's just the facts, man. If I hang out with a bunch of party or drink or whatever, I'm going to party and drink. If I hang out around a bunch of, what's the right word? I don't want to say this wrong. A bunch of people that are okay with not fulfilling their full potential, then I'm going to be okay with not fulfilling my full potential. And also, if I get in a room with a bunch of people that are constantly out there trying to make a massive impact on this planet, then I'm likely to go out there and try to make a massive impact on this planet, as long as the inputs are clear, right? The books that we read, the things that we listen to, all of the input has to push us in that direction also. Because if all I input is gloom and doom and it's not possible, then I'm going to live a life of gloom and doom and it's not possible. The input always equals the output. That is just simple physics. That's humanity. That's life. That's the way it is. And so knowing that, it's great because we can control the inputs. That's what makes us different than, a tree or a rock or some random animal, that's stuck living in the dirt. Like, we can get up and move, bro. We can get up and move.
Absolutely.
Jump on a plane or a train. We can change environments. We can choose what we listen to, who we listen to. Like, what a time to be alive. We have access to anyone and everyone 24/7 for
It's
free
incredible.
in most
Yeah.
cases,
Yeah.
or if not free, super cheap. Like, what an amazing time. So yes, absolutely agree.
Charity's got a bunch of, I just have to say one more thing. I seem to stumbled upon with all these books, and I got a ton of them. They all say the same thing in different ways. I've come to in ways that get my attention that I didn't pick up the first time. Just like when I open the Bible and read something, it's like, okay, I didn't really understand that one before.
Sure.
But what I've learned, one of the main secrets, is everybody listening? I hope, Glenn, you chime in on this. One of the main secrets to me being whatever you call success, not just monetarily, but I'm talking about equality with my family and kids and grandkids, et cetera, in business. Serving.
Oh yeah.
Serving others.
Yeah. And here's what's interesting about that, Russell, is I know a lot of people, like I used to do talks and so on and so forth, and I'd talk about servant leadership, right? Servant leadership.
Yes.
All the time. Servant leadership.
All the time.
And people would tell me all the time, like, yeah, dude, I'm a servant leader, man. I'll help anybody. My door's always open. I'll help anybody. And when they say that, I immediately go, bro, that's not servant leadership. And like, what are you talking about? I'll help. I'll do anything for anybody. My door's always open. And I always respond and I say, well, why do they got to walk through your door? Servant leadership is someone who seeks the opportunity to serve, right? Jesus, the most impactful human to ever walk the face of the planet, he didn't sit back and say, everyone come to me and I will serve you. I'm just going to hang out in my little holy land in my robe and my sandals.
You're right.
Eat grapes. My door's open though. The door's open. You're all welcome to come.
Yeah, right.
That's not how Jesus led, right? He went out. He went into march through the deserts. He went to where people were sick and burdened and weak and weary, and he sought opportunities to serve. So true servant leaders are those that seek to serve, not those that respond. It's not a reaction. It's proactively going out and finding ways that you can serve others. Very,
very powerful. Charity.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on the business and the baby. How many babies have you had now since 2023? How many have we added?
Well, I've only added one since 2023, okay. But I've added 8 since 2010.
That's incredible.
So that was the end, and this is now number 9, right?
Yeah, number 9.
Yeah. Let me tell you about a partner that's actually helping dealers get ahead. Global Dealer Solutions. If you've been wondering how to use AI the right way in your dealership, especially on the fixed side, these are the people to call. Their team gets it. Not just the tech, but the real challenges that dealerships face every day. We're talking about conversational AI that doesn't just respond, it converts. It books appointments, follows up with service leads, even answers customer questions with actual relevance. It's not replacing your team, it's making sure your team can focus on what matters most, closing ROs and building relationships. But GDS isn't just about AI. They train your staff, drive traffic, and tighten up processes so your results stick long after the tool is turned on. And everything they do is built around one goal, growth that is real. If you want more service traffic, better follow-up, and a partner that's always a step ahead, check them out. Visit gdsdealers.com, follow them on LinkedIn at GDS Dealers, or just shoot them a message and ask, what would you do with my store? And see what they come back with. Global Dealer Solutions, process-driven, people first, always on it. Well, you're the first person I've heard talk about AI in a perspective where, hey, it might completely trash our whole business. Not just, it could be a good thing or a bad thing, or, how's it going to affect certain aspects of our business, but it could wipe out our whole business. So are you framing that in your head as sort of a negative thing or a good thing, or as an opportunity? How are you looking at that from the perspective of a business owner?
Great question.
Yeah, great question. And what's interesting is I went and saw Wicked recently. Have any of you guys
Wow.
seen that movie Wicked?
I saw the play in New York. Haven't seen the movie. No.
Oh my gosh. It was phenomenal. I'm just telling, like, phenomenal, right? 2.5 hour, 3 hour movie. And I'm just like, I need more and I need more now. It's a phenomenal movie. But one of the things that's very interesting in that movie is if you've never seen Wicked and you've only seen The Wizard of Oz, the Wizard of Oz story of Dorothy, and she's the hero and the good witch and so on and so forth, right? You all know the story of the Wizard of
Sure.
Oz. But when you watch Wicked, you learn that this wicked witch of the West was actually best friends with Glinda, the good witch. And there's a whole other story, and it shifts your entire mindset to where you're like, well, is the bad witch, or is she the
Right.
good witch?
Right.
And is the good witch, or is she the bad witch? Right? You start to really question it when you get the whole story. And I think the same exact thing is true when it comes to this AI thing and what is going to happen with it. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? I think it really depends on which side of the story you're on, the story that you're being told, and the story that you're telling yourself. This industry will be disrupted, hands down. And we've already seen it. It's just going to be accelerated.
Yes.
When Walmart swept through the United States of America, 90% of groceries were bought from a local family-owned mom and pop grocery store. 90% when Walmart first started. Now 90% of groceries are bought from a chain, a franchise, and there's only 10% that are being bought from family-owned mom and pop shops. I believe the same will happen in automotive, and we've already seen that path. Larger groups that are gobbling up smaller stores.
A lot of that going on.
A lot of that going on. Then you add in Amazon that's now working on how they can sell cars through the click of an Amazon button. Then you've got the Carvanas. Then you've got the Teslas. Then you've got the Rivians. And you've got all these multi-billionaires that have way more resources than any mom and pop shop in the history of all time. They have research teams. They have development. They're on top of what's going on with the technology. They're studying the data. So it's like David and Goliath in the automotive world. If you're still a standard, which 75%, or I'm sorry, 90% of the industry are small stores that are selling 75 cars a month on average, right? And it's like Russell talked about earlier, 9.7 sales per salesperson, et cetera, et cetera. So all of that to say, let me wrap it all up. All of that to say, there will be winners and there will be losers over the next 5 years. The winners will be the ones that are adaptable and that understand that with every threat is opportunity.
Absolutely.
The losers will be those that ignore the threat, downplay the threat, want to believe, let ego get in the way, right? Well, yeah, they can't do it like I can do it.
Yeah, those people scare me.
Oh
Go
my
ahead.
gosh.
Yeah.
Like those will be the losers.
Yeah.
Consumers in the end are going to win. Which is what we all ultimately want. The consumers are going to get what they want, when they want, how they want, which is going to be fantastic. So it's not just so black and white as if it's good and if it's bad. For some, it's going to be good. For some, it's going to be bad. But ultimately, I believe the transformation that will take place over the next 5 years will be unlike anything we've ever seen in the history of all humanity. It's a industrial revolution on steroids growing at a global clip that it's unprecedented. It's unprecedented. So we can try to get in front of it, and even getting in front of it might not work. I don't know, but we can try to get in front of it and try to be one of those winners, or we can get rolled over. But either way, it's coming.
Yeah. The greatest transference of wealth is taking place right before our eyes.
Yeah, in two ways, right? With the boomers that are selling their businesses or which are cash flowing, great operational businesses, by the way. The boomers that are selling their businesses, and then you have an influx of capital that's coming through these digital currencies and worldwide currencies. Like, It's crazy, bro. I mean, you got a guy worth $262 billion right now. Like that's
I can't even fathom that.
unheard of.
It is. What are your dreams today?
I dream about all of my children's children. I want to make sure that I'm here and pliable and relevant. I want to be relevant for all of my children's children, which I'm getting ready to just now have one. So I got a long ways to go. But I dream about that. I also dream of having a global audience that I can bring together, equip with the tools they need to succeed and inspire to be great. And then when it comes to the business side of things, I have this vision where when the dust settles, the 800% club clients that have chosen to invest in me and that I've invested my time in are some of the last ones standing.
I love it.
That's a good goal. That's a good goal.
Yeah. What's the difference between a leader and a follower in your mind?
The best leaders are really strong followers.
Well said.
You know, politics aside, which is kind of hard to do when you talk about the president of the United States today, but like if you look at the current president of the United States, whether you like him or you don't like him, he is a strong leader because he is a powerful follower. Donald Trump is currently following The Art of War. If you haven't read that book, The Art of War, he is following the mentors that came before him. He is following the books that he's read and the lessons that he's learned. He's leading this country, but he's really following hundreds of years of wisdom and experience that has come before that he is now applying in this particular situation. Whether he's doing it right or wrong, I'm not here to say. But that to me, like the difference between a great leader or between leaders and followers is that leaders are great followers, whereas a lot of followers I'm not wording that right, but leaders are great followers.
Yeah. They have to learn how to follow first, right?
Yeah. You have to.
Yeah. He's Donald Trump's doing he's strong and he's making decisions that are counter to and they need to be made, man. He's not afraid to make them.
Hey, maybe they do, maybe they don't. I don't know, but he sure as hell freaking putting it out there.
Yes, he is.
Hey, I don't know how it all works out in the end, but I know he's got a plan, and I would rather follow me personally. I would rather follow someone who's got a plan, than someone who doesn't. Whether I agree with it or not.
No, the other plan is bankruptcy, so that didn't work.
Hey,
yeah.
Again,
anyway.
I don't know enough about it. I'm not an economist or anything like that. I'm just a lowly little car guy that likes to likes to help people best I can. But so I can't say whether he's wrong or he's right, but I can say that I believe in strength. I believe in power. I believe in courage. And so people that show strength, power, courage, that's someone that I can at least keep an eye on. And I have more respect for someone that can stand up and take the hits than someone who can sit on the sidelines and never gets in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said, Charity.
Well, I don't believe we discussed this before when we talked to you last, but you do talk quite a bit about the power of proximity. Yeah. And I feel like we've touched on it a little bit, but without saying exactly what it is, I'd like you to tell us about it.
Well, yeah, everything that we need in life, everything that we desire, all of your dreams, all of your hopes, all of the potential that you have wrapped up inside of you, it's all on the other side of another human. Like, we are relational beings. There is no there is no solo success. Like it doesn't exist, right? I look at, you could look at a golfer, right? You could say, well, he's a golfer. He's the only one out on the court. Well, the golfer's got a caddy, and the golfer's got a coach who's helping him with the swing. The golfer's got a club, right? Like the golfer has people around him that make them better, even if they're playing in an individual sport. Like there is no single story. I mean, Jesus, 12 disciples. There's no single story of anyone achieving anything without others. And so knowing that, obviously proximity, right, to those that are doing the things that you hope that you can do, or those that already have some wisdom or experiences, maybe they have bumps and bruises that you don't want to get. Getting proximity to those people is an incredibly powerful thing. It's an incredibly powerful path, an incredibly powerful channel. Like we've got cooties. All of us got cooties. We rub off on each other, period, right? The language rubs off on each other. The way we walk, the way we talk, all of those things, rubs off. So I believe proximity is a key ingredient to accelerating your growth and your success. And a lot of times it's to humans, but it can even be, environments and situations, right? Like when you go to Rome for the first time and you see the Colosseum, you see just these beautiful works of art, like even just being in proximity to those things, like the brain explodes to what's possible versus if you just kind of stay in your little hometown of 9,600 people and never get out from under the rock,
Yeah.
So yeah, I think proximity is key, and finding ways to, what Russell talked about earlier ties into it, finding ways to serve others, seeking opportunities to serve others is how you gain proximity. I have a lot of pretty cool friends in my phone, man. I got a pretty cool Rolodex. But it's because I just go in with the intention of now it's not what can you do for me, it's what can I do for you. And if I can't do anything for you today, that's okay. Maybe I can next year. And if it's not next year, maybe the year after that, so on and so forth. But at some point, everybody needs something. If you can be the person that you can deliver that, then you gain proximity to some pretty cool people.
Yeah. It's powerful.
Yeah.
That's powerful. Speaking is obviously a huge, huge part of what you do. And where do your speaking skills come from? Is it a skill that can be learned, or is it natural? I mean,
I don't know, bro. It's probably like trying to sell candy and drugs and shit back in high school. Why not?
Well, I don't know about you, but that's where mine came from, and I'm not. Yeah, right now.
You might miss that class.
Yeah, right.
You missed that. No, I don't know, man. I've always kind of had a gift of gab. The first time I ever gave a real speech was at my dad's funeral, and there was over 500 people at his funeral. And I gave this speech, and somehow, dude, it was miraculous. Like, it was a devastating time in my life. Somehow I gave this speech, and I made everyone laugh, and I made everyone cry, and I got through it without crying myself, which was crazy. I didn't break down. My dad was right there in front of me. His body was 6 feet in front of me the whole time I gave the speech. Like, it was nuts. And,
wow.
But I walked away from that, and I was like, wow, man, words are powerful, bro. Words are so powerful. And so I started studying great orators, right? I started studying Martin Luther King Jr., started studying Les Brown, started studying Zig Ziglar, started studying Tony Robbins, I started studying Eric Thomas, I started studying John Maxwell, right? Like, just all these great orators, JFK, early days, and the way that he used to speak. Some of the writings of Alexander Hamilton, Abraham Lincoln, right? Just like, how did these people move people? Words, right? So I studied those things, and I studied TED Talks, some of the best TED Talks that have ever been given. I read books about speaking and learned different strategies, and I went to events where there's other speakers, and so on and so forth. And then I think probably the most important thing that I did is I started this daily morning show called #Rise and Grind, where I went live 30 minutes a day, every day. And that led to Breakfast with Champions, which led to our relationship. And still to this day, we're actually in the process now of working with a production company to turn Rising Around into a real deal, legit show, which I'm super excited about.
Yeah, man.
But that put me in front of a camera speaking 30 minutes a day, bro, at 5:30 in the morning. Like, you want to talk about learning how to speak, you better learn freaking quick, dude. If you're gonna try to bring energy at 5:30 in the morning in front of thousands.
Oh, but you brought it. You brought it.
I learned how to do it, man. I learned how to do it. But yeah, just studying others, studying books, and doing the work every single day, man. I speak every day in one way, shape, or form to an audience so that I can continue to master this craft because I understand the power of words. And it goes back to Jesus, right? Everything goes back to Jesus. But if you look at it, man, like, dude, he was a freaking speaker. He knew how to tell a story. He knew how to move people at their core. There was nothing you could throw at the guy. He was the wittiest. He had all the comebacks. Yeah. Like, he was the man, right? So obviously studying him as well and just understanding the power of the word and taking it seriously is how I've gotten to where I am now.
A lot of practice. I even watched you evolve over the time. You just keep. Yeah, all those things are important, but you got to get out there and get in front of people and talk. You just have to do it. Yeah. I learned a lot from you with that. It's helped get me outside of my comfort zone. Sometimes I have butterflies, particularly so I'm so ADHD type A. If something jacks with me and gets me off my whatever, I'll forget what I'm talking about or what I'm doing. Sidetracked real easy. But
Tony Robbins said, if you don't get butterflies in your stomach before you speak, then you're not speaking about anything important.
That's right. That's right. And words are extremely powerful. They have a life and energy of their own. Once you say them, you can't take them back, man. They're out there.
Yeah, man.
And yeah.
There's a book called, my buddy Thomas Blackwell, he wrote a book called The Liberty of Our Language Revealed. It's an incredible book. The Liberty of Our Language Revealed. That really taps into.
I was going to write that down, but we're recording it. So good. Yeah.
It really taps into the power of the word, of words, man. Everyone should read it.
Yeah. Words are extremely powerful. Before I dive into a few company specific questions, I wanted to ask you if you could choose between empathy and sympathy, which has the greatest benefit and how does it relate to putting yourself into someone else's shoes?
Wow. Okay. There you go, Glenn.
I think sympathy should be thrown in the trash. We don't need to have sympathy for anyone. Nobody needs sympathy. Empathy is what people need. People need to know that you see them, you hear them, and that they are significant. You need to know that you care, even if you don't understand. Sympathy is like, woe is me, oh, poor you, oh, I can't believe that happened to you. Here, let's go crawl in the bed and cry about it. No. We don't need that. What we need is we just need to know that someone sees us, hears us. All people are all searching for is they want to feel seen, heard, and significant, right? And so empathy to me, powerful. Sympathy is debilitating. Like, sympathy is a negative. Empathy is truly the way to go.
Well,
sorry, one of my kids just ran by.
No, that's okay. Yeah, that's okay.
I didn't even know any of my kids.
That's okay. Come on, say a few words about your dad. Come on.
Yeah. Interesting.
Well,
you run a business. You're probably going through a lot of the same things that we go through here. And so, I was going to ask you some specific questions related to running a business.
Yeah, sure.
What funnels of digital marketing have you had the most success with in business? Marketing is a tough one, and I like to hear what other people have done.
So our organic marketing channels have driven 95% of the clients that we have. Posting consistently on all channels, relevant, entertaining, content has been truly the biggest key for growth for us.
Mhm.
We have brand awareness ads that we run as far as paid marketing. We have brand awareness type stuff. My book was great as far as a funnel for driving leads. So when my book, still to this day, people will grab my book and then they'll read my book and we'll follow up and then they'll say, how do I apply some of this stuff? And then that's when they come join my club, which is great. So the book funnel we've had success with, some paid ads, primarily through more branding than lead generation. It's very hard to get a dialed in ideal target avatar in the automotive space. I mean, you only have 17,000 franchise dealers out there. So narrowing it down to them specifically is very challenging, especially getting the decision maker themselves to fill out a lead form. It's not super cost effective for what we found. But primarily I would say, the book, like free content. We did a 16-week free course. We ran ads to that. That one was great because we were just giving people value, right? Giving people value in exchange. Once they would watch our content, then they would want to come join us. But it's never been like add, lead, convert. That's not how it works. Giveaway, follow up for months, convert has been the path. But I will say this, when it comes to marketing, and this goes back to the earlier conversation, always trying to stay like, where's the puck going? So the future of marketing, and it's funny because I've watched all these different iterations over the years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Auto long enough that, TV and radio, that was the jam. Like that was where you needed to be. Then we started getting Google and internet, and that started to become the jam. And then social media, that's the jam. And it's like you were old school if you're doing radio and TV. You're new school if you're doing, Facebook, direct carousel ads, so on and so forth. Well, right now, today, you are old school if you are doing Google, Facebook, paid carousel ads. All that's old school. Radio and TV's extra old school, right? That's like archaic old school. The future is, and sounds weird when I say it, but I'll explain it. The future is paid organic marketing. Now, you're like, wait, those are two different things. I can do paid marketing or I can do organic marketing. No. Paid organic marketing. Mr. Beast invests $2 million to make a video. So he's paying to make a video of him dropping a Lamborghini into a bunch of sponge things, and it's a game. But the video goes out organically. He doesn't pay to run the video. He's not paying Facebook to put his video in front of people. He's not paying to put his funny. Instead, he's paying to make content that will go out organically. That is the future. Invest in creating organic viral content. Invest in that. Take your advertising budget, $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. Instead of spending $20,000 trying to generate a hand raiser on Google, take $20,000 and go buy 6 million donuts and put them in a freaking mountain. And 30 million people will watch your video of $20,000 worth of donuts, and 20 of them, 40 of them, 80 of them, 100 of them will buy cars from you because they think you're freaking cool because you made a mountain with freaking 30,000.
Yeah, or they thought, oh, that was a waste of money. Really, that kind of advertising doesn't work. Well, you just watched it.
That's right. So that is the future of marketing. Paid,
I love it.
Organic content.
Cut that part out. We don't want anybody else to hear it. No, I'm just kidding. No, that's good stuff. That is really good stuff.
Yeah.
We've paid for very little. Is that helpful,
Charity?
Yeah. I mean, everybody has a slightly different answer to that. And I like to hear what different people do. Yeah. Marketing is a tough one, especially if you're.
It is.
Yes.
Yeah. Getting a decision maker to fill a form out or make a phone call is so rare. We've thrown hardly any money over the last, we're 5 years and 3 months old now. it's all been, Charity is a beast when it comes to marketing and advertising organically. It's all been done. She didn't have a budget. We didn't have any money for a budget.
Yeah. And, we've done a few small paid things here and they never convert for any, they're not even worth it.
When you do the book, run the book as a free plus shipping funnel, and that'll generate you some good ones.
Yeah. That's going to be a good book too.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Now, when you said you have 600 and something, so what?
620 franchise dealers. Yes.
Yeah. So what program are they on? Like, are they all on with different stuff with you, or? Yes,
we have 4 different core platforms and other types of strategies and add-ons. And it's on the AI front, what's really important. For example, Group 1, all 150 stores just signed up with us about 7 months ago. And one of the reasons they signed up with us is because of the data that we collect. It's all about the data. Yeah. And what they do, we're a delivery system for their AI product on their dealership websites. And there is nobody that does what we do and collects the names, emails, and phone numbers real time, because they don't do that on the fixed side on the websites. They do it on the variable side. They don't do it on the fixed. So we have a lot of programs like that, and video content, a lot of video content.
A lot of them having you make their video content?
No, we do that as well, but we have thousands of custom dealer branded and videos that pertain very specifically. Here's a quick example. So we don't have the data from 2024, but in 2023, we have 47.2 million data points, Glenn. We know the 26 highest converting service, parts, and accessory offers, coupons, or specials in the industry. It's a science to us. Yeah. And delivering the right content with the right message at the right time is critical to getting customers to engage. It's a level 10. I mean, it's like the future is here now. And now they're starting to get it. We're real close with Sonic and Ford. I mean, it's exploding right now. Yeah. And I never really got an opportunity to ever even talk to you about it. This is not a sales pitch, but we do some very proprietary, unique things, and we have no competition in the world. Nobody does what we do. Yeah. Nobody.
That's awesome, man.
But getting a decision maker to show up and listen, I hit them where it hurts now. My pitch has changed so much, and they're leaking thousands to tens of thousands of dollars from the service, parts, and accessory pages on their website, and they don't even know who those customers are.
Right.
That gets their attention.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, we need to talk more.
Yeah.
Well, you're a hard man to get hold of, but my God, we got you on this show.
Amen.
And not only that, we screwed it up and got you to come back. That's great stuff.
It's very
tell us about your experience with employees. How do you attract top talent? How do you inspire your employees?
So as far as like recruiting, getting top talent, those types of things, again, it kind of goes back to organic marketing is one. Actually, let me back up. The first step to getting great people in your organization is you have to have an ideal avatar. Like, who exactly are you looking for? Not, I always say, and I wrote this in my book, hire on character, not credentials. So who do I want? What?
You got to say that again.
Yeah. Hire on character, not credentials. So first I have to get very clear on who I want. Right? Say I want someone for a sales role, or I want someone for a training role, whatever it is. Who exactly, what type of person do I want? I create this imaginary person on paper. I know how old they are. I know how they, where they like to shop, all the different things that they like to do, so on and so forth. Once I know my avatar of who I'm looking for, now all of a sudden, it's crazy how our minds work, right? Have you ever seen those, there's a bunch of people passing a basketball around. They tell you to count how many times the basketball gets passed around. And meanwhile, while you're counting how many times the basketball gets passed around, a gorilla walks right through the middle of it, and you don't see the gorilla. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The reticular activating system, or I believe is what it's called, right? So our brain has this way of only focusing on what it thinks matters. So if you don't know who you're looking for, the people you're looking for could walk right past you every single day.
And they do.
And you wouldn't see them, right?
Yep.
Because you're not focused on that. So first you have to get clear. Who do I want? Then once I know who I want, the second question I ask is, where are they? Where do these type of people hang out? What do they like to do? Am I over here putting ads on Indeed that I need somebody good, but the actual person that I want hangs out on Snapchat? Well, I'm not going to get the people I want off of Indeed. If the people that I want are hanging out in Snapchat, I got to figure out how to freaking go over to Snapchat, right? Or maybe the type of people that I want, maybe I'm asking around in the auto industry for a killer when really the best people that have ever done anything in my company are bartenders and servers at restaurants.
Amen.
So if I know my target avatar, then I can say, well, where do they hang out? And then I can start telling stories to attract that type of person through my organic social media channels. That I believe is the path. That's what's worked for us. I have an amazing team. We do things a lot differently here. Nobody has a schedule. We shut down our company 7 weeks a year and pay all our people. Adequate performers are asked to take their talents elsewhere. We only have top performers in our organization, and everybody knows it. It's just how the culture is built. So we do things a little bit different, but I've had a lot of success following that path right there. Ideal avatar, where do they exist? And then how do I market to them? Through my organic channels.
That is phenomenal. The motivation, inspiration, and education that you put out there, there's no doubt that I haven't ever talked to somebody who said, Glenn's effect. No, you know what? I don't even want to listen to somebody like that. Okay. Because all they are is naysayers. I know you're real. I know your actions match your words. And I know this, when you're around people, they know they count, they matter, they make a difference, and they're part of something bigger than just themselves. That's and right. They don't really think that way when they leave your sphere, but when they're in your sphere, this is what they think, because that's what you bring with your words and your actions. And so thank you for all that you do, for the millions of people that you don't even know that you've impacted and switched or bought a book and it changed their life and sent them on a trajectory. And you know what? The average people, that's okay. Love them where they're at, move on down the road if they're not ready to step up and do what it takes, right?
Amen, man. Amen. Well, thank you. I appreciate the kind words.
So Charity, this is you here.
Well,
we just, you got another hour? No, anyway, go ahead. He's probably already late to the next meeting.
Yeah, probably. Well, I'll throw one more thing at you. Is there anything that we didn't ask you today that you wish we had?
No, you guys are wonderful. You know, great questions. I think just to wrap it all up with a bow, for those that are listening, that are looking to advance, unlock their full potential, grow, don't allow this moment in time to get away from you. This is the greatest season of opportunity in the history of all of humanity. Drop the ego, drop the pride, rid of any seeds of doubt. Just know that you have the opportunity, you have the ability. You are a powerful, 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 powerful being, placed in this moment, in this time, for a reason, to take full advantage. It's going to get good. Oh, it's going to get good. Can't wait.
Yeah. Listen, you've been on the show a couple of times now. You've done, having you on has been amazing for you to respond. If there's anything that we can do later on down the road, you just let us know. We'll be there. Other than that, Charity, again, the research you do and everything that you do and bring to the table for everybody listening. Patrick, behind the scenes, love you, man. And all of you out there listening, this is coming out soon. Like him, love him, interact with him. Let him impact your life the way he's impacted our lives, etc. And Glenn, this has been another extremely successful WTF. No, it's What the Fixed Ops. And this is Glenn now from when you saw him then. Thank you very much, Glenn. We appreciate
Thank
it.
you, Glenn.
Thank you.